You're good to go, Chief.
All righty, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Today's the emergency management team meeting for Tuesday, February the 2nd. As was discussed last time with Chief Pauly and myself, we thought the need to increase the frequency of these back again with the high caseload and vaccination that is in process right now. So we've switched to a little bit of a different model this morning. We will be just touching base with department heads with any COVID-19 related updates and questions. We're trying not to steer this too far off course here to just get the vital information out. And again, we've moved to the first and third Tuesdays of the month now, alternating with the select board meetings. So at least once a week, there will be some discussion on the COVID-19 issues. So good morning, everybody. Chief, good morning.
Good morning, Chief. Thank you.
Great. All righty. So we will move it right over to Hillary this morning with some updates on testing and vaccination.
Good morning. I guess I want to start by asking that everyone continue to remain patient. I think we are all acutely aware of the stress that folks are under right now. The stress level seems higher than ever by the calls I'm fielding, the COA is fielding. Sure, the police and fire department are fielding them also. People are panic stricken. And so I do want to just remind everybody that we're still okay. We still can go out with our masks on. We can still social distance. We can still practice all the same public health measures we've been practicing for almost a year now to prevent us from getting this COVID virus. That being said, vaccine is very slow to roll out here on Cape Cod, it seems. Once we receive vaccine, we are going to be ready to roll. There are a number of regional vaccination clinics in the planning stages that we're ready to kick off once we have enough vaccine. The problem is we're only getting 975 doses a week on Cape Cod, which really doesn't go very far. So when the governor spoke 2 weeks ago about phase 2 beginning to roll out on February 1, he neglected to mention that we're still trying to catch up with all of our phase 1 folks. And so a majority of the vaccine that came to the Cape had to be prioritized for the second doses for our phase 1 folks. So we are slowly going to move into phase 2. The first group in phase 2 is still those that are 75 plus. So those are the first folks we're going to target. And then we'll move into the 65 plus with folks with comorbidities. So 65 plus and comorbidities is going to be the second group in phase 2. And the first group, again, is going to be the 75 plus folks. And so the next problem with the vaccine rollout is the way that folks need to register, which is also causing panic and mayhem in all of the towns on Cape Cod and probably all over the Commonwealth. So it's an online registration process, which we acknowledge does not serve some of our seniors and some of our younger folks who do not have access to the internet or are not particularly computer savvy. So again, we're working on ways to sort of make this more manageable to the folks that don't have access to those types of equipment to sign themselves up. But what I thought I might do, if everybody has just a few short minutes, was walk you through, if I could share my screen, to the sites to go to actually sign up if you have access to the internet.
You're all set, Hillary. You can screen share.
Okay, perfect. So I think that the easiest one for us to walk through is the Barnstable County one. I'm gonna try to get my screen share to show you the internet here. Okay, here we go. So if you go here, one of the things I want to point out is that when you first go to the website, and it's barnstablecountyhealth.org. Okay, I'm gonna repeat that again, barnstablecountyhealth.org. If you go there, the first thing that's going to pop up is a little pop-up onto the screen that's going to say, put in your email and you will be signing up for a notice a day prior to when a Barnstable County vaccination clinic is going to be set up. So you pop in your email and you will get an email a day before a clinic is going to open, which means the next day you're going to go back onto this site and scroll down here. So this is right at the home page. And if you scroll down, you'll see all of these buttons. So you're going to click on the vaccine information button at the bottom of the page. And you can come down here and you can see vaccination schedule or vaccine registration. Either one of these two buttons is going to take you to the place that you want to get to. So if we go to vaccination schedule, and it takes you to the mass.gov site, you're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. And see information here on the different phases when you're eligible. See, we can see here we have phase 2, which we're going into. Group 1, individuals that are 75 plus. We can click there and come through here to find a vaccination location and book an appointment. So click here. Scroll down again, and there's different ways you can look. And of course, this isn't going to work right now because we're aware that there's no vaccine available today in Barnstable County, but you would put in your zip code here and something would pop up. Or you could come down here and take a look at the map and click on any one of these stars and it will take you to a vaccine location. So for instance, this one is the Orleans Stop and Shop. So we know in addition to the clinics that are being held by the county, vaccine is also being offered at Stop and Shop, CVS, and Walgreens on Cape Cod. So from this point, you would follow the website here. And I am fully aware this is a lot of clicking and moving around for a lot of people in our community. And we are available to help. I don't know how much help we can give at this particular moment in time because we're busy fielding all kinds of other questions. But if someone is in dire need, they can certainly put a call into my office and I can help them walk through this process. So it's not ideal. Certainly, I'm not going to be able to help hundreds of people, but if we have some folks that are particularly sensitive, we can help them through this. So that's one option. The other thing I want to do is just go back, if I can, to the Barnstable County website, because on that button, there's a number to call for help. So this is the COVID-19 helpline. They will field any and all questions. It's staffed regular business hours, and there are live people on the other end of the phone to help. So I really think at this point, the Barnstable County Health site is the best site for us to send folks to gain information. It seems to have the most up-to-date information. It has access to the testing. It has access to the vaccinations. And it seems like the best place to go. So I'm going to go ahead and put that out there for folks. The other thing that I am aware of only through the newspaper at this time is this robocall that's going to be going out Tuesday night to alert people to a conference call, a large scale conference call on Wednesday evening at 5:30, I believe, where folks are going to hear more about the vaccine rollout and get a better understanding of what's going on Cape Cod. So there will be an alert to that Tuesday night, and then the conference call, it will come out by robocall and you will be able to opt in from your phone. So they're going to call you. You don't need to do anything unless, of course, you don't have a phone. I'm not sure at this point if they're using landlines or cell phones. Maybe one of the chiefs know more than I on this. Either chief, do you know about this?
No, just through the newspaper, Hillary's all I.
Okay.
I don't have an update either, Hillary, at this point.
Okay, so I guess it's quite obvious that communication isn't flowing well between the state, the county, and the towns at this point, and I think we're all really trying to do our very best to stay on top of it. And unfortunately, we all learn about things in the newspaper too, just like you. So I would say be on the lookout for that call. One call coming tonight to alert you to a conference call tomorrow night. So again, they will call you. There is a number you can call. We can link up to that on the town website to opt into getting those two alerts. We'll make sure that information is available. So I think with that, I can also add that there will be 2 regional sites that we're working on the Outer Cape. One is located in Truro and one is located in Eastham. They're regional. They will be open to all Cape Codders. And likewise, you could sign up for any vaccination clinic on Cape Cod if you can travel. There are other options further down Cape. And once we have vaccine, we will put out more information on the exact locations. The sign-up process is going to unfortunately be the same unless we're able to change some things around, which doesn't seem highly likely at this point. So just a review, barnstablecountyhealth.org is the place you should go to find a way to sign up for a clinic, find a way to gain testing. There's also a website that I really don't want to confuse you with, but if you're struggling with this one, it is massimmunizations.org. This is going to, again, take you to PrepMod, where it tells you who can sign up. And you can click here, which is just one click away, put in your information, and it's going to pull up all the clinics currently available. So I know we have some folks that have gone ahead and traveled to Gillette. They said it was a wonderful experience. It was run really smoothly. So if folks are able to travel, there are options all across the Commonwealth for you to go. So if that's what you're interested in, I would suggest you come to massimmunizations.org and have a look around there. And with that, I think I'm going to stop and take questions because it's confusing and I understand that, and it's not an easy process.
Okay, great. Thanks, Hillary. Either if people could raise their hand or just get Rebecca's attention and we will answer any questions possible. Captain Capello?
This is for Hillary. Good morning.
Good morning.
We end up going into a lot of the elderly's homes, as you know, because of the rescue department. My question is, how many of these people actually have access to internet? Who has a computer? Have they reached out to anybody that, such as the senior center, in regards for helping them sign up? I think that this is something that we could potentially just assist, like have a group of people assist with helping them sign up. And then we can do 2 things. We can find out if they need a ride as well at the same time for our community. So I'm just curious, has there been any polls finding out who needs this help, or are they just calling in panic?
They call in panic. Most of the folks I've spoken to have access to the internet. Some are way savvier than others. I've walked some people through it. It takes time and great patience to do this. So I think folks are going to have to reach out. We do have a meeting set up with library staff and COA staff later this week on a regional level to sort of figure out the best way to move that ball a little bit forward to catch these people. Our colleagues in Truro, Eastham, and Provincetown are having the same issues, right? We know we have areas that don't even have internet access in town. So we know it's an issue. We don't know exactly who all these people are.
Helen has her hand up.
Hi, do we automatically get an appointment for the second shot or do we have to go through the whole thing again?
At this point, you have to go through the whole process again.
So when we get a second shot, we get a piece of paper or we get acknowledgement that we've had the first shot and we have to schedule it ourselves.
Yes, correct.
Thank you.
Yeah, if I can just interject quickly, because first responders have gone through the process, you will go to the site and go through the vaccination process and receive a card. And then a few weeks later, we're getting reminder emails. It's not a perfect system. Some of us have signed up for a second shot and are still getting the emails. However, that is the process. And there's I believe, Hillary, if I'm correct, a 4-day window on either side. I know we're using the Moderna.
Yeah.
That get the second shot on either side of that window.
So the vaccine that's coming to the county is Pfizer. I think it's the same process.
Okay. Great, thank you. This is your last question, Captain Capello.
Thank you, Chief. And this is just a roll off of what Chief Early just said. While we were there, they actually reminded us as soon as we leave there to go onto the website and sign up for it. So not only will you get that reminder email, but they're also telling you right then and there, once you get your first shot, to do the same process over again.
Okay, great. Any other questions?
Michael
sorry.
Javasto has his hand up.
Hey, Hillary.
Hey, Mike.
I had read that the way that they're the state is giving vaccines is based on population, not on age or demographics. And so the Cape, being a largely elderly population, is getting a much smaller share of vaccine percentage to like age demographic, right? So there's way more people on average over 75 here, but we're getting less vaccine on the Cape. Is that something that's actually, is that true?
I don't believe that's true. So they look at a variety of different situations when they're allocating vaccine. So they look at race, they look at age, they look at case numbers, they look at a whole host of different things before they allocate the vaccine. So I do believe that they are doing their best with the allocation. The problem is that the bulk of the vaccine is going to their mass vaccination sites at the moment. So our regional sites are a second tier to their mass vaccination sites. And so they are working at the state level to bring a mass vaccination site to Cape Cod. They've looked at 2 locations in Barnstable, in Hyannis, to house this. And once they settle on one of those locations, they are going to move forward with the mass vaccination site on Cape Cod. The process, the scheduling, all of that is going to remain the same. But I think for a majority of the folks in our community, holding on and waiting for the locations on the Outer Cape is going to be best suited to them. But by all means, if folks want to sign up for one of these other spaces, anybody can go to any location in the Commonwealth from Cape Cod.
Thank
Can I
you.
ask a question? Hillary, what do people have to show other than, is it just an ID they have to show?
So they have an ID and there's an
Eligibility.
attestation form you get when you sign up that says I'm 75 or I have, 2 comorbidities. So they have to attest to their situation. And then they just show up. So you don't need a doctor's note. You don't need any medical documents. It's just a self-attestation form.
Okay, great. Rebecca, are you seeing any other hands raised or questions right now for Hillary?
Nancy Savetta has her hand raised.
Where was it?
Good morning, Nancy.
Hi there. My question is about attestations for other groups. For example, the shellfishing industry will be included, I think, in phase 3 or priority 3, maybe in phase 2. And how do they prove that they, like, what if they're an employee in a grant? How do they prove that, they deserve to get the vaccine if they want it? Do you know about
So I
that?
think, again, they're just gonna have to self-attest to that. There's nobody's checking documentation, so it's the honor system. Which is good and bad, but it's just the honor system. So they're just gonna say they work in agriculture and that's that.
Thank you.
We don't want to make access to the vaccine any more difficult than it currently is.
Great. Appreciate it.
And Michael DeBasto has his hand up again.
Go ahead, Michael.
I didn't mean to have my hand up.
No problem. Is that it, Rebecca, so far?
Yep, I have no more hands raised.
Okay, great. Hillary will be standing by towards the end of the meeting if there are any other questions you think of. Usually in the past, you've probably seen out of Cape Health has been on our calls. They have had a change of leadership in their Wellfleet office, so we're just waiting to hear on a new staff member there who possibly can be joining us. However, I think Hillary can attest as far as testing, they have a grant that's going through the end of February. I know they've been very helpful for first responders, getting us testing. And also, I believe Barnstable County Fairgrounds, is that still staying a testing site?
Yep, but Barnstable County Fairgrounds is open, and I think the Melody tent was shifting into vaccine distribution. So they were moving from the Melody tent back to the Cape Cod Hospital for testing. So we still have 3 sites that are being funded by the state and the county to assist us in testing.
Great. And I know right now, Out of Cape Health grant runs through the end of February at the moment. So, and like I said, they've been very user-friendly. There's a number you call, and they usually within the day, they have 3 test sites, Provincetown, Wellfleet, and Howardsport. They've been very, very user-friendly. So if testing is needed, that is probably the best route right now while they have that grant. Okay, great. We'll move on this morning. And again, usually off our agenda, we just go through departments. And what I'll ask again, if there's no COVID-19 updates, unless the public has questions, Department of Public Works is on this morning. However, they did let me know they have no COVID updates, so we'll move on. Under Community Services, if the library, senior center, I know Suzanne is probably fielding quite a few calls. Good morning, Suzanne.
Good morning, Michael. I am, all of us are spending a lot of our time on the phone, and I don't need to add anything to what Hillary reported because we're experiencing the same phenomenon. In terms of having a call-in center where people can be helped once the appointments are available, we need a dedicated phone line for that. Otherwise, it'll tie up our phones for all purposes all day long because we only have 2 lines. So if that can be accomplished, and I'm working on that or trying to find out about that, then we could have volunteers and staff answering the phone and doing data entry and helping people.
Okay, great. Thank you. Hillary, do you know if that Barnstable County hotline, are they helping or assisting people with signing up for the test?
So
I'm
they
sorry,
had
the
talked
vaccination.
about it. They had talked about it. The county just buzzed in that they're trying to get us a 1 o'clock conference call to talk more about vaccine planning. I think everyone is acutely aware of the issues that folks are having in the county with sign up. And so we're probably going to have a multi-pronged approach. What that looks like right now this morning, I don't know, but when I do know, I will certainly let you all know. I've heard that they can help walk people through it, but I don't know how that's being done at the moment.
Okay, great. And that phone number is 508-375-6613, 508-375-6613. And that is going to the Barnstable County Health Department for really any COVID questions. However, if they could help people through the process, that could be another resource. Moving on this morning, I believe Community Services is everyone else as well so far. Unless there's any questions, we'll move on.
I just want to say there's nothing COVID related at the library, but on our homepage, if you sign up for our electronic newsletter, our Mermaid Memo, you will get all of our updates about our upcoming programs and everything. So I don't have to take up people's time here with that. So please go ahead and do that.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jennifer. The Shellfish Department, Nancy, everything well there? Any COVID updates?
Nope, thank you very much. I'll try and have something for the next meeting. Just like
Okay,
an
great.
update. Mhm.
The Harbor Master, Will, good morning. Any COVID updates at the harbor?
Good morning. No, we do not have any COVID updates as of this time. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. What I'll do is I'll run through the departments, and then if anybody has questions, also town administration, if you don't mind raising your hand, so I won't go through the whole list. If you guys are at the end of the agenda, if you have any questions or thoughts, we'll run the list that way. Good morning, Chief. Any updates from fire?
Only really one update. All our personnel, all our fire and EMS personnel are scheduled for their second Moderna shot next week. That will be in Orleans. Again, just to reassure folks, I know there's a lot of questions. I know there's a lot of uncertainty. And I know that we all wish things could have been made a little simpler with respect to signing up for vaccinations. Our experience has been once you get into the system, and that's the big challenge, once you get into the system, it works well. And the process works well, to kind of reiterate what Chief Hurley said. So I know folks are nervous and in some cases really stressed out over this, or even worse, but we're going to try to help you all through this the best we can. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Chief. And I'll echo the same sentiments. Our staff also, beginning next Tuesday, will be going through shot number 2 of Moderna. And by I believe it's the 16th of February, we will be all have completed our second vaccination there. Also working with Hillary, both police, fire, and public works on logistics for the Lower Cape vaccination sites. So stay tuned again for that. There is some work in the background going on as we speak on that right now. Rebecca, Town Administration, any hands up for any questions or thoughts? Good morning, Maria.
Good morning. I don't have any updates or anything, just that, with everybody, not feeling at ease with everything, we'll continue to allow folks to work from home so we can, either see the surge die down or get more folks vaccinated. So I'm not seeing any change to dial back that we've had for, limiting exposure for staff.
Great, thank you. Hillary?
Yeah, I was just thinking of staff. We did put out a memo to all of the department heads to see if folks had staff interested in helping us man one of these regional vaccination clinics. I've heard back from one department. So if anyone has underutilized staff or staff they could give to us, maybe a day a week for the foreseeable future, we're looking for staff volunteers first. My other thought is that because our staffing is so thin, we may need to go out and recruit some volunteers from the community. I have received emails from several folks wanting to volunteer where they can, if they can. So all medical volunteers would have to register through the Medical Reserve Corps. There's a link to that again on the Barnstable County Health Department website for medical volunteers. They were soliciting for nursing staff at, I think they still probably are. So we'd be looking for some more general volunteers to assist with, traffic, paperwork, sort of administrative tasks at the site. I'm not yet putting that word out there. I think when we do, we would probably try to get an email address specific to volunteer@wellfleet-ma.gov. So the time will come for that. It's probably coming soon. So we will announce that sometime in the near future.
Great, thank you. Any questions from any board members? Again, the team appreciates, I believe we have all 5 members on this morning, so we appreciate your support being on here this morning. And if you have any questions or comments, I won't call the roll. If anybody does, I'll just open it up real quick.
I don't have anyone with their hand raised, Chief.
Okay, great, thank you. Again, before we wrap up, if there's any final thoughts or questions, either directed towards Hillary or any department head, again, we're going to try to keep this rolling weekly. Next week is a select board meeting at 6 p.m. So clearly, if there's any further information, we will be pushing it out that way. We do have our social media sites, Facebook pages that we also are continuing to supply information to the community. So the fire chief said, please be patient. We are trying to work on this. And if we can get a number operational or additional help on registration, we will also push that out too. So any questions?
Helen has her hand raised.
Just for the few names who are unfamiliar to me in the list of participants, you should know that every select board meeting has an agenda item about COVID every single time. So you would wait for that. You don't have to look for it more than that in our schedule. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Helen. Chief, any final thoughts this morning, unless there's any further questions?
No, I'm all set. Thank you, everyone, for your participation and for dialing in with us.
Okay, great. Again, after next week, February the 3rd Tuesday of the month will be our next emergency management team meeting. And unless anything further, we will push information out. Please, everybody be safe. And again, any questions, do not hesitate to call any of the departments, and we will try to assist in the best way that we can. So everyone have a good day and stay safe.
Chief, the
Thanks,
next
Hillary.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
February 16th?
Yep, that's the 3rd Tuesday.
Okay, yeah, just making sure.
Yep, nope, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you.